you can still buy a house in the US for under $10,000. Not a dollhouse, not a Craigslist trap, not haunted, it's real. Today we're diving into a world that honestly feels like a glitch in the Matrix, while most of the country is choking on six-figure mortgages and, crying into their avocado toast. These towns are quietly offering homes so cheap it feels illegal. We're talking about entire houses for less than the price of a used car, a fancy watch, or even a semester of college textbooks. I sent my team across the country to find these places, and what they discovered is absolutely insane. You're going to want to see this. We're counting down 25 cities where you can buy a home for a price that will make your jaw hit the floor. But here's the deal. Every single one comes with a wait. What? Moment. We're not just showing you the unbelievably low price tags, we're giving you the full picture. The good, the bad, and the straight-up weird. We're talking about the job markets, the crime rates, the local quirks, and why these houses are so ridiculously affordable. This isn't just a real estate video. It's a guide to the hidden corners of America where the rules of money seem to bend. So, get ready to question everything you thought you knew about the housing market. By the end of this, you might just be planning your next big move. But before we get into it, do me a huge favor. Like this video so the algorithm thinks I'm important. Seriously, it helps more than you know. And subscribe, because someday you'll want to escape, and this channel is your break glass in case a boring life kit. Let's get into it. Alright, kicking off our list at number 25 is Springfield, Illinois, where you can still snag a house for less than a used car. I'm not kidding, we found listings for under $15,000 for an entire house. This is the land of Abraham Lincoln, where history is everywhere you look. You can literally walk in the footsteps of a president. The city has this classic, all-American feel with historic buildings and a surprisingly decent amount of green space. For the price of a down payment in California, you could buy an entire street here. It seems like a no-brainer, right? A historic city, insanely low cost of living. It's the American dream on a budget. But hold on, what's the catch? Because there's always a catch. While you're saving a fortune on your mortgage, you might be spending it on, other things. The job market isn't exactly booming, and some neighborhoods are definitely rougher than others. The property taxes can be surprisingly high, which is how the state gets its money back, and while you're surrounded by history, you might find the entertainment options a little historical too. It's a city with solid bones, but it's definitely a fixer-upper on a grand scale. Keep watching, because the catches only get crazier from here. Coming in at number 24, we're heading way down south to Harlingen, Texas. Picture this, warm weather, year-round, palm trees, and houses so cheap you'll think the listings have a typo. We're talking a median home price that barely scratches six figures with plenty of fixer-uppers available for way less. It's close to South Padre Island, so you can have your beach days without the insane coastal property prices. The cost of living is ridiculously low and the Tex-Mex food scene is legendary. For anyone dreaming of escaping winter forever without breaking the bank, Harlingen looks like paradise. But let's talk about the chaos. First off, the job market is slower than a tortoise in molasses. Finding a high-paying gig here is a real challenge. Then there's the crime rate, which is higher than you'd want it to be. Locals will tell you to lock your doors, and maybe your windows too. And the traffic? Oh, the traffic. It's a wild, unpredictable free-for-all that feels like a real-life game of Mario Kart, but with more pickup trucks and fewer banana peels. It's a place of incredible value and vibrant culture, but you have to be willing to navigate some of its wilder sides. For number 23, we travel to the Rust Belt in the town of Weirton, West Virginia. This place is a living monument to America's industrial past. Once a booming steel town, Weirton is now a place where you can buy a three-bedroom house for under $70,000, sometimes for as little as $30,000. The hills surrounding the town are beautiful, offering a kind of rugged Appalachian charm. There's a strong sense of community among the people who have stayed, a shared history forged in the fires of the steel mills. It's quiet, the pace of life is slow, and your mortgage payment could be less than your monthly streaming subscriptions. But that quiet comes at a price. The steel mills that built this town are mostly gone, and the jobs went with them. The population is aging, and there aren't a lot of young people moving in. This means modern amenities are few and far between. Don't expect to find a trendy coffee shop, or a Whole Foods here. Many of the storefronts are empty, ghosts of a more prosperous time. It's a town filled with nostalgia, but it can feel like it's stuck in the past. It's perfect if you want to retire and live cheaply. But if you're looking for opportunity, you might find it's in short supply. Alright, back to Illinois for number 22, and this time we're landing in Decatur, the so-called soybean capital of the world. And yeah, they are not kidding about the soybeans. The entire economy, and honestly, sometimes the air, pretty much revolves around them. The big draw here is, you guessed it, the incredibly low cost of housing. You can actually find solid, family-sized homes for under $80,000. It's one of those rare places where your dollar just stretches for miles. The town has this blue-collar, hard-working vibe, and people are generally pretty down to earth. So, if you want to live a simple life, pay off your house in just a few years, and have a big yard for your dog, Decatur is calling your name. But, let's talk about the air for a second. Depending on which way the wind is blowing from the processing plants, the town has a distinctive smell. Locals like to call it the smell of money, but, you might call it something else entirely. The crime rate is also a significant concern, with numbers well above the national average. And of course, the weather is classic Midwest bipolar, brutally hot and humid summers followed by freezing, windy winters. Living in Decatur really means embracing the quirks, the good, the bad, and yeah, the smelly. It's a trade-off financial freedom in exchange for putting up with a few unique local features. Heading out to the plains for number 21, we find ourselves in Enid, Oklahoma. This place just oozes small-town rural charm. We're talking massive historic homes on big lots for prices that would make, honestly, any coastal city dweller weep. You can find beautiful sprawling houses for under $100,000. It's the kind of place where you actually know your neighbors. People wave as you drive by, and the Friday night high school football game is the biggest event of the week. Sky feels huge. The landscape is wide open. And the pace of life is, well, refreshingly slow. It's a peaceful escape from all the chaos of big city living. So, what's the downside to this idyllic picture? Well, that rural charm comes with, let's just say, rural infrastructure. The job market is limited, mostly centered around agriculture and the local Air Force base. But the biggest complaint you'll hear? The Wi-Fi. It can be spotty, slow, and yeah, pretty unreliable, which is a deal breaker for anyone who works from home. It's a digital desert in some spots, so while you might have a huge, beautiful house, you might feel like you're living in 1998 when you try to stream this YouTube video. It's a fantastic place for a digital detox, whether you want one or not. Next up, at number 20, is Pine Bluff, Arkansas. If you're looking for rock-bottom prices, you've definitely found them. The median home price here is under $60,000. That's not a typo. You can actually become a homeowner for the price of a luxury SUV. The town is just dripping with southern charm, beautiful historic architecture, and a slow, relaxed pace of life. You'll find friendly people, incredible soul food, and a cost of living that's honestly one of the lowest in the entire country. If your only goal is to minimize your expenses and own property outright, Pine Bluff looks like an absolute jackpot. But, and it's a big but, that jackpot comes with a serious warning label. Pine Bluff consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. The crime rate is extremely high, and yeah, it's something you just can't ignore. The economy has been struggling for decades, leading to a shrinking population and lots of vacant, neglected properties. Sure, you'll save a ton of money on your mortgage, but you might need to invest a good chunk of those savings in a top-of-the-line security system, reinforced doors, and maybe even a guard dog. Or, two. It's the ultimate high-risk, high-reward scenario for homeownership. At number 19, we have Johnstown, Pennsylvania, a town famous for its devastating floods. That history has left a permanent mark, including on its real estate market. You can find homes here for under $50,000. The city is nestled in a beautiful valley, surrounded by the Allegheny Mountains, offering stunning scenery and plenty of outdoor recreation. There's a tangible sense of resilience and history here. The famous inclined plane, a funicular that once saved people from the floodwaters, is now a cool tourist attraction. It's a place with a story, and the ridiculously low home prices are a major chapter. However, the job market feels like it's still underwater. Much like other Rust Belt towns, the decline of industry hit Johnstown hard, and it has struggled to recover. While the scenery is beautiful, the weather can be brutal and unpredictable, with long gray winters and, yes, a continued risk of flooding in some areas. The infrastructure's old, and the town is fighting to attract new businesses and younger residents. Buying a house here is a bet on a town that's been knocked down but is trying to get back up. You just have to be prepared for a long fight. Rolling into number 18 is a name you've probably heard before. Gary, Indiana. Once a titan of American industry, a powerhouse of steel, Gary is now famous for something else. Abandoned buildings and unbelievably cheap houses. You can literally buy a house here for less than a semester of community college. We're talking prices under $20,000 and sometimes as low as a few $1,000s at auction. It's just a short drive from Chicago, located right on the shores of Lake Michigan, with beautiful dunes and beaches nearby. The potential is undeniable if you have vision. But that vision needs to be 20/20, because you'll need it to see past the reality on the ground. Be ready for streets lined with boarded-up windows and a landscape of urban decay. The economy is tough, public services are stretched thin, and crime is a major issue. Buying a house in Gary isn't just a purchase, it's a project, a massive one. You're not just fixing up a house, you're betting on the revitalization of an entire neighborhood, maybe an entire city. It takes guts, patience, and a whole lot of DIY skills. For number 17, we're in Youngstown, Ohio. Here, the median home price is comfortably under $50,000. This is another former steel giant that's now a champion of affordability. The city has a ton of history, a university that brings some life to the area, and some surprisingly beautiful parks, like the sprawling Mill Creek Park. It's a place where you can escape the rat race, buy a home with cash, and enjoy a level of peace and quiet that's unimaginable in most of the country. If you're a writer, an artist, or just someone who hates noise, Youngstown could be your sanctuary, but you have to really love peace and quiet. The city has lost more than half its population since its peak, which means there are a lot of empty lots and abandoned houses. While some see this as an opportunity for urban farming or just extra space, others see it as eerie and isolating. The job market is still very weak, and while the downtown area is seeing some signs of life, many commercial areas are struggling. It's great if you love solitude, but if you're looking for a bustling social scene, you might find there's a little too much peace and quiet. At number 16, we have the legendary city of Detroit, Michigan. And yes, the rumors are true. You can still buy a house here for under $10,000, sometimes for even less through the land bank. Detroit is a city of incredible resilience, with a world-class music history, stunning architecture, and, honestly, a comeback story that is genuinely inspiring. The downtown and midtown areas are booming with new restaurants, shops, and life. There's a palpable energy, a creative spirit, that's rebuilding the city from the ground up. Owning a piece of that for just a few $1,000s is, well, an incredible opportunity. But let's be crystal clear, that $10,000 house is just the entry fee. You'll need vision, a ton of patience, and a budget for renovations that will likely be many times the purchase price. Many of these cheap homes are in neighborhoods that are still struggling significantly with blight, crime, and a lack of services. You'll also need a reliable car because public transit is limited, and maybe a good security system. This isn't for the faint of heart, it's for the pioneers, the builders, and the people who want to be part of one of America's greatest comeback stories. Crossing the Delaware River from Philadelphia, we find number 15, Camden, New Jersey. This city offers some of the cheapest real estate in the entire Northeast. Homes can be found for incredibly low prices, often under $70,000, putting homeownership within reach for many. Its location is a huge plus, sitting right across from a major city, offering access to Philly's jobs and culture without the sky-high rents. There are glimmers of hope, with a revitalized waterfront, a major university, and a world-class aquarium. For someone with grit, Camden represents a ground-floor opportunity. However, Camden's reputation precedes it for a reason. It has long struggled with one of the highest crime rates in the nation and deep-seated poverty. The streets can be tough, and many neighborhoods are facing serious challenges with blight and lack of investment. While the waterfront is shiny and new, that prosperity hasn't reached many parts of the city. Buying a home here is a true fixer-upper challenge, not just for the house itself, but for the community. It requires a belief in its potential and a willingness to be part of a very long and difficult transformation. Heading north to number 14, we land in Buffalo, New York. Known for its affordable homes, epic snowstorms, and legendary chicken wings, Buffalo is a city that's making a serious comeback. You can still find solid, architecturally interesting homes for well under $150,000 in many neighborhoods. The city boasts incredible historic architecture, a passionate sports fan base, Go Bills, and a surprisingly vibrant art scene. Its location on Lake Erie provides beautiful waterfronts that are being redeveloped into parks and public spaces. There's a real sense of pride and momentum here, but you have to be ready for winter. And I mean, really ready. Buffalo is famous for its lake-effect snow, which can dump feet of snow in a single storm. If you don't own a heavy-duty shovel and a good pair of boots, you won't last long. While the city is on the rise, the job market is still catching up. And like many older cities, some neighborhoods are bouncing back much faster than others. You get 4 distinct seasons, but one of them is very, very long and very, very white. Just bring a shovel, a warm coat, and an appetite for wings. Alright folks, coming in at number 13 we have Cleveland, Ohio. This city is not just the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it also offers some pretty low prices, killer views of Lake Erie, and, well, a genuine, unpretentious heart. The housing market here is incredibly accessible, with a median price that's just a fraction of the national average. You can find charming homes in diverse neighborhoods, from the trendy Tremont to the family-friendly suburbs. And let's not forget, Cleveland boasts a world-class orchestra, major league sports teams, and a metro park system that's so amazing they call it the Emerald Necklace. It's a city with real cultural weight that doesn't cost a fortune to live in. But, like many of its Rust Belt neighbors, Cleveland is a city of contrasts. Some neighborhoods are thriving with new breweries and art galleries, while others are still bouncing back from decades of economic hardship and population loss. The winters here? They're gray and long, which can really take a toll. The economy has been diversifying but is still in transition. You can score a beautiful home for a bargain near a vibrant cultural hub, but you might be just a few blocks away from an area that still needs a lot of love and investment. Now, moving on to number 12, we have St. Louis, Missouri, the gateway to the West. This city is an architectural goldmine with historic brick homes available for, get this, shockingly cheap prices. You can find beautiful, century-old houses with incredible character for under $150,000. And the food scene? It's nothing short of amazing. We're talking gooey butter cake, toasted ravioli, and some of the best barbecue you'll ever have. St. Louis also has Forest Park, which is actually bigger than New York Central Park and home to a free zoo, art museum, and science center. There's a ton of value and culture packed into this city. But you have to be aware of the Delmar Divide, a famous line that separates the wealthy, thriving parts of the city from the areas that are struggling with poverty and crime. Some neighborhoods are rough around the edges, and the city's crime rate is a frequent headline. Public schools can be a mixed bag, which is a major consideration for families. St. Louis is a city of distinct pockets, and your experience can vary dramatically depending on which side of the street you live on. The food is great, but you need to choose your neighborhood carefully. And cruising down to number 11, we find ourselves in Macon, Georgia. This city is steeped in Southern charm and an incredible music history that rocks, being the home of legends like the Allman Brothers Band and Otis Redding. You can find gorgeous historic homes, we're talking Victorian and Greek Revival mansions, for prices that seem like a fantasy, often under $150,000. The city is filled with cherry blossom trees that create a stunning pink landscape every spring. It's a laid-back place with a rich cultural tapestry and a cost of living that will leave plenty of money in your pocket. However, that laid-back vibe extends to the economy. The job market is slow, and opportunities can be scarce outside of healthcare and education. While the history is rich, the city is still working to bring its infrastructure and amenities into the 21st century. Some parts of town are beautiful and well-preserved, while others show signs of neglect and economic struggle. It's a city where you can live like Southern royalty on a pauper's budget, but you might have to bring your own job with you. At number 10, we're in Birmingham, Alabama. This city, once known as the Pittsburgh of the South for its iron and steel production, is really forging a new identity these days. The housing is very affordable, with a median price that actually makes homeownership a reality for a lot of folks. Birmingham has a rich, though often difficult, history in the civil rights movement, and it offers some pretty powerful museums and memorials to explore. In recent years, Birmingham has developed a fantastic food scene, a booming craft beer industry, and revitalized downtown areas like Railroad Park. It's a city on the rise, with a growing sense of optimism. But you know, that rise is still very much in progress. While the city center's becoming more vibrant, a lot of the surrounding neighborhoods still need quite a bit of TLC and investment. The job market is improving, but it still lags behind other major southern cities. Crime rates in certain areas remain a concern for residents. Public transportation is limited, so honestly, a car is an absolute necessity to get around. Birmingham is a great example of a city in transition, offering a chance to buy in before it gets expensive, but you really have to be willing to live through its growing pains. Number 9 takes us to the heart of the Deep South, Jackson, Mississippi. Known as the City with Soul, Jackson offers some of the most affordable housing in the nation, with a median home price well under $100,000. The Southern hospitality here is the real deal. People are friendly, the community is tight-knit, and the pace is, well, pretty relaxed. Jackson has a deep musical heritage, being a key stop on the Mississippi Blues Trail. You can find beautiful, spacious homes with big yards for a fraction of what they would cost anywhere else. But that soul comes with some serious challenges. The city has been struggling with a long-term water infrastructure crisis, leading to boil water notices and service interruptions that have, unfortunately, become a part of daily life for residents. The job market is weak, and the city has been dealing with a high crime rate for years. While the cost of living is low, the quality of public services can be a major concern. Living in Jackson requires a huge amount of patience and a resilient spirit to deal with infrastructure problems that most Americans just take for granted. For number 8, we're back in Illinois, this time in Rockford. Situated on the banks of the Rock River, this city offers extremely cheap homes and, honestly, some beautiful river views. It's another Rust Belt city that's trying to reinvent itself. You can find solid family homes for under $100,000, making it one of the most affordable markets in the country. The city has some hidden gems, like the stunning Anderson Japanese Gardens and a surprisingly active arts community. For people seeking a quiet, affordable life with some natural beauty, Rockford has a certain appeal. The key word there is trying. Rockford has been on a long, slow road to recovery after major factory closures. The city still faces high property taxes, a struggling school system, and a reputation for crime that it's working hard to shake. While there are pockets of revitalization, many areas still feel left behind. The job market is not particularly dynamic, and it can feel a bit isolated despite being only 90 minutes from Chicago. It's a city with a lot of potential, but it's a bet on a future that hasn't quite arrived yet. At number 7, we visit another Ohio city, Toledo. Known as the Glass City for its history in the glass industry, Toledo offers an incredibly low cost of living. Affordable living is the main draw here, with a median home price that makes it easy to live mortgage-free. The Toledo Museum of Art is a world-class institution with free admission, and the city has a deep love for its minor league baseball team, the Mud Hens. There's a surprising art scene and a gritty, down-to-earth pride among its residents. But finding a good job can be as tough as glass. The economy has been slow for decades, and while it's showing some signs of life, it's a major hurdle for newcomers. Like many cities on this list, Toledo is patchy. You can have a beautiful, historic neighborhood right next to one that's dealing with blight and crime. The winters are classic Great Lakes gray, which can be a drag. Toledo is a solid, no-frills city that offers a ton of value, but not a lot of glamour or high-flying opportunities. For number 6, we're in Saginaw, Michigan. This is a place where you can find houses for jaw-droppingly low prices, sometimes under $40,000. The city boasts a lot of parks and green space, including a beautiful Japanese cultural center and tea house. It's located in the Great Lakes Bay region, offering access to outdoor recreation on the water. For someone on a very tight budget who loves the outdoors, Saginaw presents an opportunity to own a home and have space to breathe without being financially suffocated, but you have to be ready for some very rough patches. Saginaw has one of the highest crime rates in Michigan and struggles with poverty and urban decay. The job market is very limited, and the city has been losing population for decades. While there are nice areas and a core of dedicated residents trying to make a difference, many neighborhoods are in tough shape. It's a city with clear potential, especially with its natural surroundings, but it requires a buyer to look past some significant and very real problems. Down to number 5, we're in Albany, Georgia. This isn't the capital of New York. It's a southern city known for its pecan trees and a very laid-back vibe. The housing is extremely cheap, with a median price that makes it one of the most affordable places in the state. The Flint River runs through the city, providing a nice river walk and an aquarium. It's a quintessential small southern city, where life moves at a slower pace, and the community is central to everything. If you're looking to escape the hustle and bustle, Albany delivers. However, that slow pace applies to the economy as well. Albany has struggled with job creation, and economic opportunities are limited, which has led to a high poverty rate. The city was also hit hard by a tornado in 2017, and is still rebuilding in some areas. While the cost of living is low, the lack of economic dynamism is a major drawback for anyone who isn't retiring or working remotely with a secure job. It's a peaceful place to live, but that peace can sometimes feel like stagnation. Number 4 takes us to Shreveport, Louisiana. Here you'll find affordable homes, amazing Cajun and Creole food, and a city with a unique character blending Southern and Texas influences. The median home price is very low, and you can get a lot of house for your money. The city has a riverboat casino scene that brings in tourists, and a film industry that has earned it the nickname Hollywood South. There's a distinct cultural flair here that you won't find anywhere else. But, some neighborhoods are struggling significantly. Shreveport has a high crime rate, and like many cities on this list, it's very segregated by income and race. The economy can be very boom or bust, tied to the fortunes of the oil and gas industry. The public school system faces major challenges. While you can enjoy the food and culture, you have to be very mindful of where you choose to live. It's a city with a lot of flavor, but also a lot of issues simmering just beneath the surface. At number 3, we have to talk about Flint, Michigan. Yes, it's incredibly affordable. You can buy a house for next to nothing. The city is working incredibly hard to rebuild and move forward. There's a strong, resilient community here that refuses to give up. The downtown area has seen new investment with a great farmers market and a growing college presence. People from Flint are proud, and they are fighting for their city's future. Buying a home here can be an act of solidarity and a bet on that fighting spirit. But it's impossible to talk about Flint without acknowledging the water crisis. The trust in government is broken, and though the water is said to be safe now, the psychological scars remain. Many residents still rely on bottled water. The city also faces all the other challenges of a Rust Belt city, a tough job market, high crime, and widespread poverty. Living in Flint means being part of a long, difficult recovery. It's a city that needs and deserves investment, but it's not a move to be taken lightly. Our runner-up at number 2 is Syracuse, New York. Home to Syracuse University, this city has a college town feel with big city affordability. The housing prices are low, especially for a city in the Northeast. You can find charming older homes with lots of character. The presence of the university means there's always something going on: sports, concerts, and cultural events. The city is also a gateway to the beautiful Finger Lakes region. If you love the color orange and don't mind the cold, Syracuse offers a lot of value, and you really can't mind the cold. Syracuse is famous for being one of the snowiest cities in America. The winters are long, dark, and buried in snow. The economy has been sluggish, and outside of the university and healthcare, high-paying jobs can be hard to come by. Property taxes are also notoriously high in New York State, which can eat into your savings from the low purchase price. It's a great town if you can embrace the lake effect lifestyle and find a solid job. And the number 1 most affordable city on our list might surprise you: Little Rock, Arkansas. While it has some of the same challenges as other cities we've mentioned, it offers a compelling blend of low cost, amenities, and southern hospitality. The median home price is incredibly low for a state capital. The city is beautiful, with the Arkansas River running through it, Pinnacle Mountain State Park right on the edge of town, and a thriving river market district. It has a rich history, a growing food scene, and a friendly, manageable size. But like many southern cities, some areas are still catching up. there are pockets of poverty and crime that you need to be aware of. The job market is steadier than in some of the smaller towns on this list, but it doesn't have the explosive growth of places like Austin or Nashville. The summer humidity can be oppressive. However, for its balance of affordability, natural beauty, and city amenities, Little Rock stands out as a place where you can get a whole lot of life for very little money, making it a truly underrated gem. And there you have it, 25 towns across the US where the dream of owning a home is still alive and well, and incredibly cheap. We've seen everything from historic mansions in the South to Rust Belt fixer-uppers you can buy for the price of a laptop. The question is, after seeing the full picture, is it worth it? Every single one of these cities offers an incredible financial opportunity, a chance to escape the crushing weight of a 30-year mortgage and live a different kind of life. But as we saw, that low price tag often comes with a catch. Whether it's a tough job market, high crime, or a serious lack of Wi-Fi, there's always a trade-off. By the end of this video, you'll either be packing your bags or second-guessing why it's this affordable. It forces you to ask what you truly value. Is it financial freedom above all else, or are the amenities, job opportunities, and security of a more expensive city worth the cost? There's no right answer, but it's a question that millions of people are asking themselves right now. Now I want to hear from you. Let us know in the comments, would you move to any of these towns, or is cheap too good to be true? Which city surprised you the most? Your comments literally help us figure out what videos to make next. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss your next escape plan. We have so many more insane videos coming. You're not going to want to miss them. And hey, if you want music, let me know your timing preferences and I'll pick something from YouTube Studio. And remember, no AI stock here, just real talk.